Welcome to Roadmap to the Arts. My name is Kathleen Reckling, CEO of Arts Westchester, and I'll be your host. In this episode, we'll be making stops at two destinations that provide platforms for artists to create and share their works. These venues are more than just galleries. They are community anchors that provide a diverse menu of programs for people to learn, grow, and connect through the arts. Our first stop is a former carpet mill home to Yonkers Arts. I got to chat with Evan Bishop, the organization's new executive director. Evan gave us a tour of the facility. It was perfect timing to get a peek at their upcoming exhibition inspired by the power of fashion. We also got a look at the lab, a unique space within Yonkers Arts, which serves as an art-fueled incubator for small local businesses.
So now we're entering into the lab.
Wow.
This is a magical space that has been and will continue to be utilized by partnerships with organizations in the community. They see the value of utilizing this raw space. We are pleased to say that some great artists have laced the walls, and there's more walls to be, there's more rooms.
There's a little bit of white space in there.
Find it, jump in, and even layer it if necessary. So behind here, we're developing a podcast room.
Oh, wow.
So we'll have access to ongoing, people can rent the space, so we'll have our own podcast take place in there as well. Youth Mural Group is a program that Yonkers Arts initiated last year. High school students are learning not only how to create murals, but how to sustain and restore murals. So it's not just one thing to paint yours and think that it's going to stay forever, but what happens if it's damaged? What happens if it's defaced? How do you mix those colors? How do you bring it back to its brilliance and preserve it? So Youth Mural Group is an ongoing program. We have some legendary graph artists, SOs.
I love that when you walk into the space, like not only have you brought so much color and exuberance and that sort of real ode to being at this intersection between urban spaces and business, but that also so much of what's on the walls is positive. Yes. I am enough. I love what I do. Plan your work and work your plan. It's such, the energy is so like, let's make something good happen.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting the way Yonkers Arts also thinks about how it can support artists as small creative businesses, but also connect those artists to the broader business community. So tell me a little bit about the lab and what that seeks to do with driving enterprise and creativity.
Excellent question. We're excited to partner with the founders of the Power Lab, who are located in another location in Yonkers. They saw the potential in the lab to build workspaces, affordable workspaces for small businesses and organizations. But it's not just a space for them to occupy. We're talking workshops, resources, and the opportunity to build community. So you're here with these Yoho artists who do phenomenal things in and of themselves, and many of them are not emerging artists. They're established artists, so they have an idea and a perspective of their business experience, and they can bring that to the table and share. So the power of what we're doing in the lab is really to create a community of business, really business. The arts, we're not making that an art space, but we understand that the artists in the community have something to share and something to learn. So artists are welcome to utilize that space as well.
And there's this fun transition between that space, which is like raw and has the energy, the potential, and then you come into a sort of more traditional gallery space that still has its industrial heritage, but is clearly transforming into something different. So I have a real soft spot for fashion, and it's actually, I think, kind of what got me into a career in the arts, because it's such an interesting way to express yourself.
For sure.
And I always think there's this beautiful intersection with fashion and all other arts. So tell me a bit about this exhibition that's coming up, and as someone who used to curate, this is my favorite part of any show, is the minute before.
So we have the Heart of Fashion coming up February 7th. It'll be the opening. What we did is, as I mentioned earlier, two young, dynamic designers came with an idea and a vision, and Yonkers Arts opened the doors for them to do their first curatorial debut.
Yonkers Arts is such a treasure. When you walk off the street, off of Lake Street into here, you walk into a gallery, but you're really walking into a community hub. So tell me a little bit about the ways in which Yonkers Arts engages with the community beyond the exhibitions that it does.
Through our programming. We are pleased to have new partners that we're working with and partners who have been with us for many years. Each day around 3 o'clock, you will have a group of kids coming in for an after-school program. But it's not just about homework help, but it's also a safe space for them, as well as to feed them and to give them, nutrition before they go home. There's many opportunities to partner. One of the things that helps us to field it is to really communicate through forms, Google Forms, like, hey, we have this great idea. Just fill out the form. The board will look at it, approve of it. So it's really about not shooting anything down. My job is not to yay or nay. It's about trafficking the opportunities or bringing in the opportunities. So we'll have an upcoming Zumba class for kids. We have arts and crafts, of course.
Next, it was on to the Rye Arts Center to visit their latest exhibition featuring unseen photographs of rock and roll's greatest legends. Executive Director Adam Levi gave us a special tour of the galleries.
Rye Arts Center, we're tremendously honored and excited to host this exhibition by photographer Michael Friedman. Michael was a music manager and photographer who worked with a lot of musical luminaries. And these particular photos were taken in the late 60s to early 70s and were just only recently rediscovered or discovered. Michael's wife, Donna, had found a box full of film that had not been published. And when they did that, or they produced it, when they printed the film, they saw a lot of images of some of the most amazing musicians to ever live. Todd Rundgren, Janis Joplin, the band, and in particular the Rolling Stones. A lot of these images haven't been seen. In fact, all of them haven't been seen. So the selection here is really diverse. Kind of bring this into sort of a more timely element. Just yesterday we lost one of the greatest keyboard players to ever live, Garth Hudson. He was part of the band, the last surviving member. So this just happened yesterday, and now we have images here in the exhibition space. Also, too, there's a new film out that focuses on the life of Bob Dylan, and one of the central figures to Bob Dylan's career was a music manager named Albert Grossman. And Albert worked alongside Michael. Michael actually worked for Albert Grossman for many years, and he had access to a lot of this important stuff, whether it's backstage with Janis Joplin or Keith Richards playing at Madison Square Garden. All of this stuff happened, and Michael was there to see it. So as part music manager, part photographer, he was able to capture these moments. And one of the it's a great quote too that Michael mentions. He was basically the same age as a lot of the musicians at the same time, and really didn't understand, as most artists do, capturing the moment and what it would mean later on. So, as Michael says, they were just kids working hard and playing hard. But he was able to document this moment in time that it just, doesn't exist, or it exists today in the printed form, and we're able to celebrate it. Established what's called a Gallery B. We have our main gallery space. We also have our Gallery B. And what Gallery B does is it highlights a lot of local artists in constant rotation. We just brought in another exhibition by Cécile Roberfreud, and she's a French-American artist who specializes in oil painting and abstract works. And you can see that we recently redesigned or refurbished our hallway space to make room for more Gallery B, because it's quickly becoming a very important part of the Art Center, supporting artists and supporting artists either in giving them a platform to display their works, and also possible sales. This is all part of what we do. We're here to serve the community with art classes, music classes, performing arts classes, you name it, ballet. The Art Center has it all.
The Rye Arts Center is a multidiscipline creative facility with a performance space, 3D printing program, digital arts workshop, and so much more. Our team also had the opportunity to speak with the pre-K program coordinator, Heather Ranello.
We are one of the first preschool programs here in the surrounding area that's been going on for many years. And we have 2 locations, Rye Presbyterian, CCNS. Enrollment is anywhere from 3 to 16. We have 45 minutes of music, 45 minutes of art. It really is a beautiful, safe place for the children. And lots of projects, weekly themes. Last week was Spain, this week is Under the Sea. And we just have a really good time here.
Thanks for tuning in to this installment of Roadmap to the Arts. We'll see you next time.